So here's one thing also, though, in LA. I absolutely agree. I think LA versus San Francisco, New York, any of those cities,
Yeah.
you just represent a diverse everything, like even geographic. If you want to live in the mountains, it's right there. Beach,
Sure.
right there. We have everything that's suburban or fully urban available here. So absolutely. But obviously development is challenging here. I mean, there's multiple reasons. I know you're very well aware of those as well, but you have, they're all subject to hearings. They're all subject to a lot of red tape that, obviously we try to help, disclose in the beginning, but still, there's still red tape that you have to address in that and also in the entitlement. So given kind of the environment right now, what do you recommend would be some good ways to kind of change things or improve things? I think this is the first time that maybe even politically people are willing to maybe redo some of the processes that wasn't working, hopefully, but
I mean, that's a loaded question, obviously.
I know, right?
It's pretty sad, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now that, at first building planning seemed to be a little bit more available, not anymore.
No.
Every project is being delayed.
Right.
6 months minimum. And I'm talking about easy projects, like a fourplex project. Used to be able to entitle that in 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Now the long look is 12 months.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think the political landscape of what we're seeing on the development side is very slow. Mm-hmm. It is not being updated quickly. I mean, the Hollywood community plan's taking how long now, and they just released a copy, and it's still not fully implemented. Yeah. So, and then you have the issues with CRA going away, but now RPA is taking over, so it's not really going away.
Yes.
Then, needless to say, all the Garcetti talk about redoing all the community plans. Mm-hmm.
That's all talk. There hasn't been any real movement, or
there isn't. There is no movement.
Yeah.
And it's slower and more costly, and it is not changing anytime soon. That's the speed at which the political is catching up with demand is night and day. They are not having a conversation together. So much so that even I remember before pandemic, I went to an event with Garcetti, and he was talking to this whole big game about expediting and yada. Nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened from that.
Unless we get into a real conversation to say that the city of LA is failing on the units count, mm-hmm. and somebody comes in and says, I don't care what the community say, we're building, and the state level really gets aggressive, nothing's going to change. It's just nowhere near that conversation.
Yeah.
And it's pathetic.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a great example. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I understand both sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. Where I'm working on a project that's in escrow to build. It's an acre site to build a few hundred affordable units. The buyer is an affordable builder. Mm-hmm. I was actually at an event with the state treasurer and the buyer where we were discussing this project because they're trying to put it all together. Mm-hmm. There's, apart from the fact that the process to get funded from the state is a friggin' nightmare.
Yes.
There's also a couple historical bungalows on the property.
Oh no.
So needless
past that, yeah.
And you cannot, and it's not actually I think that they're not officially historical, but in California, bungalows are super protected.
You still got to go through the process of screening it through the board. Yeah.
You still got to go through the process.
Yeah.
So to be able to change a site that's an acre with 20 units on there that could be 200 or 300 units it's probably not going to happen, and it's already been in the process for 12 months.
Oh, wow.
So when we talk about affordable housing, what is the city really doing to make it happen? We even had a meeting with the council member, and he says, yes, you do affordable housing, I'll support you, but you got to go get local support first. You got to get everything approved first, and then we'll discuss the historical issue. Well, how am I going to spend money before knowing the historical issue?
Exactly. Yeah.
Not dumb. So I think that you get into these issues where the city talks and wants, but it's just failing miserably at every possible step.
Agreed. Can't agree more. I think
I sold the property to the city of LA in the right before pandemic.
Yeah.
I sold the property to the city of LA in Boyle Heights that is being bought by, essentially being bought for metro purposes while they're building the metro to be a storage site.
Oh, nice.
And once they're finished, they're going to turn it into a pocket park.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah.
How many departments did I just speak of? Exactly.
Too many.
It took 6 months to sell an 8,000 square foot lot.
Oh my God.
6 months.
Oh my God.
Because not only do we have multiple meetings with Public Works, Parks and Rec, planning,
Right.
Okay. The property was also in REAP.
Right.
So the property's in REAP, the city should be able to take it out.
Yes.
But Parks and Rec says we don't have control over the REAP department.
Right.
We have to get clearances from multiple departments.
Wow.
Right. So this is the biggest problem that I see with the city.
I see it too.
Because they're right now, you know, with like Project Roomkey and whatnot.
Yeah.
The process is so damaged by the fact that every department has to sign off, and every department has to have a public hearing.
Yeah.
Right? In normal times, we can manage.
Right.
In emergency times, that is a problem.
It is.
And that's where the failure is happening, not only on a local level, but a state level and federal level, is that the process to get anything money spent and approved is a nightmare.
Yeah. I kind of have this thought that there should be a bill now, and I think pre-pandemic, it probably would never have passed, but I think now is the opportunity for it, is some sort of comprehensive bill that comes out locally that just says, okay, here's how we've done a test pilot of getting an entitlement workflow through faster, cutting through all that fat, all the different departments, all there. Well, it takes us 2 weeks at this department, and you can't go anywhere. Like you can't just do, you know, it's almost end to end, these processes, right? That's why it's such an extended period. It should be together. You should be able to go together with different departments at the same time. And
like what's great about TOC being able to build affordable housing without parking, I'm getting a lot of for-profit developers calling me for these kinds of sites. But then it's just a regular entitlement process. Going to take you minimum 12 years, for 6 months to get your determination letter. Then you got to go to public building and safety.
Yes.
So you're already bringing the cost way up. So you have to be buying, obviously, land in inferior, poor locations. But at the same time, when you're building in inferior locations, you're not building mixed use. You're building straight up apartments, probably no parking. So you're adding housing to the stock, but you're not creating a viable, livable lifestyle in that area, because now people are chasing the bottom line.
Exactly.
So I think it's a catch-22, no matter how you do it, unless we get some kind of a real estate czar that comes in and says, I don't answer to the different, council members and whatnot. This is what needs to get done. I can supersede, because every council member doesn't want it in their neighborhood. Right?
Yeah,
I'll give you an example. I'm working with Project Roomkey. There's a big hotel in a part of town that is up and coming, but not really. 200 keys, sellers ready to sell. The council member said no.
Wow. Why? What was the reason?
He didn't like it in that pocket.
No.
No joke. There's a housing massive shortage, and he said, no, that property's in too good of a location.
Too good of a location.
No joke. No joke.
Oh, man.
That's the sadness of the problem that we have, is that there is too many moving parts, too many opinions, and too many people with their own agendas.
Agreed.
Right. So like I'm in the conversation with with HCI DLA, because now they're starting to buy some more.
Yeah.
But they're handcuffed as well, because they got to deal with council members, and they got to deal with other
before it's authorized for the purchase.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think with Project Roomkey, we bought a few thousand keys for a problem with 55,000 homeless people, and that's not really doing much.
Yeah. Drop in the bucket, right?
The drop in the bucket.
Yeah. Well, look, I think more work to be done, but the one takeaway I do have is, I think, given the scenario now, there is movement from what my partner Alex has been saying on getting it faster and better, but who knows, right? This talk has been going on for a while, but definitely needs improvement, because there's so much demand and need here in LA. We need to get on the program.
We need a better process. We need to revamp our entire system. Absolutely. Because it's failing. It's what keeps rents high.
I agree. More inventory, diversity of different product out there, the natural market will react, and the rents will.
There's a real simple rule for development.
Yeah.
If I cannot get over $3 a foot, it cannot be built.
Right.
That's simple. I can't get $3 in rent, and even that's slow these days. I cannot build the project.
Right.
So what does $3 in rent do? It means it's high. It's for the most part high-end housing.
Exactly.